All right, appreciate you actually being here. Appreciate you actually taking the time out of your busy schedule to be here. So, I want to make this presentation very interactive. So, like Tasha said, my name is Carlos Morales. I'm actually be doing trainings on social media and technology and marketing since 2004, and and I work with a lot of nonprofits, coalitions, and for-profits organizations as well. So I help them set up marketing strategies, create marketing campaigns, develop their websites, and so on. So today, I want to give you a social media 101. And so we're going to be discussing a few of the platforms of social media. We're going to be talking about some content. And so let me actually start by sharing my screen really quick here. All right, so share screen. All right, and then I'm going to share from the start. All right, so here's the agenda, right? We're going to talk about social media strategy. We're going to talk about doing a social media audit, what that means. Like if you actually have a social media presence for your organization, and if you need to know what's working, what's not. So we're going to be talking about how you actually do that. How do we identify the audience that you want to communicate on social media? So your content strategy needs to be personalized. And then how do we actually create some engaging content? All right. So basically the information that I put in here is for you to implement right away. So it's not theory, it's actually is about actionable items. I wanted to make sure that you actually take this with you and implement it. And I'm going to be asking you some questions. So feel free to ask questions. I want this to be more of a conversation rather than me actually just talking at you. All right. So, but I'm going to start by showing you this video. But before I do that, let's see if I can optimize. All right, so I'm going to show you this video, and then I'm going to ask you a few questions about it. let me ask you this, Clarence, Lolita, Anisha, have you seen this video before? No. All right.
No.
Okay. Is there anything from the video that sort of actually caught your attention? Any of the stats that you saw?
I thought that the Instagram usage compared to outreach compared to the Twitter outreach was pretty big, like 84 times bigger,
Yep.
or something like that.
Yep. That's a very good one. So that tells you something, that if you want to use social media, that one of the platforms that you might want to think about using could be Instagram, right? Because of the amount of engagement that it has. All right. Is there any other stats?
I think Snapchat being the most downloaded app downloaded app in 20. I think it said it gave a year.
That was actually TikTok.
Oh, TikTok. Yeah, I'm sorry, TikTok.
In 2020. Yep. And so that's the other thing. So let me ask you this: do you guys use social media on a personal level?
I do.
Okay. What about you, Clarence?
No.
You don't have any social media at all?
No, I got like a Facebook I had from high school. That's probably like 15 years ago.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. So, and Lolita, so you actually use social media for personal use, right?
Yes.
Okay. What platforms do you use for personal use?
LinkedIn, Facebook. I did know that Facebook and Instagram kind of is linked. I just kind of realized that.
Yeah, and Facebook, or now the company is called Meta. The social media platform is still Facebook, but they changed their name. Before, the company used to be called Facebook, but now they changed it to Meta. So Meta owns Facebook and Instagram. So it's under one company. All right. So is there any other stats that actually caught your attention there? One of the things that probably you saw in there is the importance of using video when it comes to marketing. And so now let me ask you this. Are you currently using social media for the work that you do?
Yes.
Okay, Clarence, can you tell me a little bit more? How is it that you're using it?
Just more so like outreach, I guess posting like different resources from around the city, or just interesting articles I feel like related to prevention.
Okay, and so which platform are you using?
Facebook.
Only Facebook?
Yep.
Okay.
And YouTube as well.
And YouTube?
Yep.
Okay, great. All right. So I'm going to ask you more questions in regard to those two as we continue with the presentation. Okay, what about you, Lolita? So are you using social media for business purposes?
No, so I'm with the county. I do the compliance, so no.
Okay, no. All right. Okay, so I'm going to just give you an overview of all the different social media platforms right now, and then we're going to go into a little bit more detail. But before I do that, you're here on this presentation for a reason. Why are you here? What are your expectations? What do you want to learn on today's presentation?
Just more so how to use social media as a tool, just in order to reach the most people, mainly.
Okay. And Clarence, are you the one posting on your social media, or you have somebody else helping you with that?
It's kind of both. I'm the main one, but there's someone else that does it as well.
All right. Okay. All right. What about you, Lolita?
So I've gone to the TTJ workshops before, and they just have great information. And so I'll just take the trainings, and then hopefully if I could bring something back to our providers during the auditing process, I'll share.
All right. Well, we appreciate you being here, and hopefully we can live up to your standards and still consider this a great training. All right. So let me actually just show you something really quick here. Okay, we're talking about Facebook, but I want you to pay attention to some of the things that you can do on Facebook here. Now, Clarence, you're the one who using Facebook right now and as the social media platform for business purpose, for prevention. So we have about 2.7 billion users on Facebook. That's a lot of people, all right? But Facebook, as you can see here, can be used for engagement. When I speak about engagement, keep in mind that that means that people are responding to your content, they are commenting, they are sharing it, or they are liking it or having some sort of reaction. Now in Facebook, you can like something, you can be mad about something, you can be happy. Now you have different type of reactions. That's engagement. So if you are posting on social media and you are not getting any of those things that I just mentioned, commenting, sharing, or reactions, that means that your level of engagement is very minimum. And also means that you might not be reaching your audience, that people are not seeing what you're posting. Or if they see it in their newsfeed, they're not interested. They just keep scrolling. All right. So, Clarence, since you're doing this more for prevention, one of the things that I will look at as you're posting on this, look at the stats and see if you're getting any type of a level of engagement. If you're not, then you have to change your content strategy. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later. All right. So these are some of the things that you can actually use Facebook for. Live streaming. You can do a live video. You can grab your cell phone and do a live video using Facebook. And you can sort of actually talk a little bit about prevention, talk about the organization that you work with. You can sort of actually do behind the scenes to add engagement, to people see you. It's not just about graphics anymore. Video has to be part of your communication strategy. All right. All right. So Twitter. Do you guys use Twitter at all? No? Okay. All right. Lolita, you're saying no? Okay. Now, Twitter it's sort of actually a different tool, but a lot of organizations actually use it because we have a lot of actually young adults actually using Twitter where they want to actually get quick information, right? And so Twitter is another great platform if you're good at sending just quick information. Keep this particular young adults or even professionals. They actually have Twitter accounts. They use it for that reason. They just want to make sure that actually they get quick updates. News, for example, are one of the, if you're talking about different news channels, they actually use Twitter to actually keep the population informed about what's going on locally. So Twitter, as you can see, it's sort of actually, you can get some live updates. You can actually do some content and trends research as well in Twitter to know what people are talking about locally. It's a great platform for you to do some research. For example, Clarence, if you're actually doing this for prevention, or Lorita, if you actually go back to the county, I'm sure the county has a Twitter account. I can almost guarantee you they probably have one because a lot of the counties actually use Twitter to keep the community informed about things going on in the city. And so, so that's it. That's the reason. That's one of the reasons that you might want to think about using Twitter. Now, LinkedIn. What about LinkedIn? Do you guys use it professionally? You mentioned LinkedIn, right, Lolita? So you're actually using LinkedIn, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was a part of a mentoring. I participated in a mentoring program, and they told me to use Twitter. Use LinkedIn.
And how do you use it?
To research organizations, to stay on top of I follow some of the compliance organizations.
Okay. All right, but you don't post anything, or you?
Not really.
Okay. All right. So what about you, Clarence? Do you use LinkedIn on a professional level or organizational level? No? All right. So one of the things is that you might want to think about is that LinkedIn, a lot of organizations actually have a LinkedIn profile because that's where they showcase the work that they've done in the community. And so why? Because if you actually want to reach people that actually might become they might donate, they might become donors of your organization, LinkedIn is a great platform for you to actually showcase all the great stuff that you're doing. And so you have to think that it's a different platform, in comparison to Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or YouTube. So LinkedIn, the audience that is there It's a professional audience. It's an audience that are looking to network with other like-minded individuals. They're sort of actually talking about jobs, or talking about opportunities, or they're talking about showcasing what their job is doing or their position is doing in the community, and so on. So that's sort of actually the reason behind and how you can actually use LinkedIn. All right. Now, Clarence, you mentioned YouTube. I'm glad that you actually are using YouTube. Can you tell me how is it that you're using YouTube?
Mainly just posting radio interviews that's conducted by different departments throughout the city.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the main thing as of yet. That's what it's mainly used for.
All right. And are you getting so these interviews, how long are they?
Some are like 4 minutes, some are like 10,
Okay.
like that, but no more than 15.
All right. And so the purpose of this is to sort of actually what?
It's like called mental health minutes. So just giving people more so just information and resources.
Okay. So let me see. Hold on. Before we go into this, we're going to talk a little bit about. Okay. I want to make sure that I actually, is this the one that
Yep,
this is,
that's one of them.
That's one of them. Okay, so this is is this Better Ways to Cope?
Yep.
Is that your channel?
Yes, that's our campaign.
This is okay. So I've been watching some of your videos here, and I think they're great. So this one, for example, is 9 minutes long, and this is in Spanish. I was actually watching this one. This is great. So I'm glad that you are using YouTube. Can I make a recommendation, Clarence, in terms of how you can actually maximize more views on this? Here's what I would do if I were you. Because these interviews, you have this one is 4 minutes, this one is 9 minutes, this one is 4 minutes, this one is 15 minutes. So you have a lot of great content, right? But when I look at it, you have 22 views in here. So here's what I would do. I would actually then grab and dissect the videos into 30 seconds to a minute video clips. Like you go over the videos and you start looking at, oh my God, this is a great segment that I can actually take out. And what you start doing is you start creating short videos. For example, out of this 9 minute video that is in Spanish, you can create probably 3, 4, or 5 different videos of things that they're saying that you can actually put back into Facebook. And the idea, the reason why you might want to do that is because the audience, they're really, the audience engages a lot when they see short videos. And so because it's easier to watch, it's easier to digest, you're not asking them to spend a lot of their times to consume the information, and it's shareable. Because if the information that they're getting under a minute or so, it's powerful, they can actually share with their peers. So here's what's going on, is that now all of a sudden you got, from this video alone, you can actually create 3 to 5 different videos. You see what I'm saying, Clarence? So you actually now are repurposing content. You are creating more content than just one video of 9 minutes. Like, for example, I watched this one. This one is 4 minutes long. I watched this one. There were actually some good information in here that we can get out of this 4 minutes and convert this in about a 30-second video clips. So that's what I would do. And I would post it on Facebook. Boom. And then you are creating what is called a short form. It's called a short form of content. And so there are short videos that engage. The whole purpose of the video is to bring awareness and engage your audience. Here's what happened though. Then you can actually create the same video and put it as an Instagram reel. So you don't have to create anything else. The same video, you go into Instagram and boom, you put in it as an Instagram reel. Now the same content is in 2 different platforms. And so TikTok will be a great platform for these short videos. A minute, 30 seconds. I mean, I would say at the most 2 minutes at the most. No more than that, because we're creating just short videos. So that's what I would do. Right now, you have a lot of great content, Clarence. I would say going to, well, this one is a 1 minute, 1 minute. This is great. But I will actually go and start dissecting some of this. This 15-minute over here, can we actually create several videos out of this 15-minute long video and repost it on Facebook, right? So that's will give you a lot more. Here's the other thing too. Have you used social media paid ads in the past? Have you paid Facebook to reach more people?
No, some of those options pop up quite often, but no, I haven't.
And what's the reason why you haven't?
I don't know. I guess I never thought about. Yeah, I just never thought about using it. I guess I could request the funds from the city, or speak with my supervisor, see if that's something that we could do.
Yeah, and I think here's why is it that you might want to think about doing that is because what happens is, and I haven't looked at your social media, so I don't know what your social media looks like or your Facebook page. But one of the things is basically what you do is when you invest a little bit of money into these videos, short videos, all of a sudden you're reaching a lot more people. Because if your level of engagements right now is very low, that means that you need to reach more people within your city. Because you can target it, you can actually tell Facebook, I want to actually target people from this particular city, ages of 25 and 45, for example. And then Facebook makes sure that that video is being shown to that particular demographic. All of a sudden, you're reaching a lot more and you're getting more views. And you can actually start a campaign, Clarence, with only $5 a day. You don't have to spend a lot of money. And you can actually, this is what I tell the people that I work with is you can start a campaign with $5 a day, and you can actually let these videos run for about 5 to 7 days, for example, because that will give you enough data to see how many people are watching the videos, how many people actually complete the whole minute video or 2-minute video, because Facebook will give you that data as well. How many of them actually just dropped after the first 30 seconds? How many of them actually complete the whole video? All of that information is important because as you are creating content, I would like to make sure that people actually see it because you're spending resources, you're spending time in creating these great videos. I want to maximize the reach. I want to amplify the reach. That's what I would do. So yeah, that's a recommendation that I have for you. So yeah, I was watching some of these videos, so I'm glad that you mentioned that. All right.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. And as I'm talking about this, if there are questions, things that you hey Carlos, how do I do that? Or do you think, feel free to ask questions. And Lolita, you do the same. I know this is not something that you do on a regular basis, but if there are things that actually get your attention, that things you want to take back to the organization, feel free to ask any questions as well. So Instagram, like I told you, Clarence, you can actually grab some of those short videos and put it on Instagram Reels. That way you're maximizing the reach. You have a lot more people to actually see the content. Look how many active users Instagram has, over 1 billion, right? So you can use it for building your brand. In this case, we're talking about prevention, creating photos and videos. Yes, you can do live videos and you can advertise. Remember that Facebook and Instagram, they're both owned by the same company. When you create an ad on Facebook, you can tell Facebook to also play the same ad on Instagram. Okay, so now you're amplifying your reach because people that have Instagram or use Instagram more, they're gonna get to see your content. All right. Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So like when I think of advertising, I think of like the buying and selling of goods. How else could advertising be used for like a nonprofit?
That is a great question. So basically for a nonprofit, I'm gonna ask you a question to you. What do you think a nonprofit would like to promote?
Community outreach, resources.
Okay. They want to promote their services to the community, right? And so they might want to showcase what they've done in the community. So prospect donors can actually see, and they might be interested in donating money. So all of those things you can actually promote using Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, YouTube, so all the different social media platforms. Okay. So for a nonprofit, it's a must that they have to be on social media. And it's a must that they actually create a social media paid ad campaign. Now, when you do that, then the nonprofit actually now they start putting people, this is the work that we do, or they're launching a new service to the community and you want to let people know in your local community, so they actually create a social media paid ad campaign. So they create ads promoting that specific service. Or they actually were able to help someone, depending on the service they're providing, if it actually was housing, they can tell the story of that particular person, and in terms of how by them accessing their services, they were able to get some housing. That's actually telling a story. That gives more exposure to the nonprofit organization. But not only that, though, you can use that in a fundraising campaign as well. So as you can see, there are many ways that you can use social media to increase your branding. So, did I answer your question? All right, cool. All right, so this is actually Snapchat. It's another social media platform as well. These are the things that you can use it for: real-time updates, promoting events, product, service launch. In fact, when Snapchat launched, they actually had originally they launched, and the uniqueness about Snapchat back then is that, the content would disappear within 24 hours. So for example, if I would see your content Snapchat, after 24 hours it will be gone. The other thing too, they have some filters. So you can actually put some things on your face, on top of your head, and so on. So here's what happened. A lot of people that actually were using Instagram, they were actually leaving the Instagram platform and going into Snapchat. So what people decided to do at Instagram, say, hey, we cannot allow to do that. We cannot let them actually leave a platform. Let's mimic, let's replicate what Snapchat is doing on their platform, and let's actually put them on Instagram. So we keep our audience. And so that's what they did. So they actually replicated a lot of the things, a lot of the features that Snapchat had, and they put it back on Instagram. And that helped for them retain their people, but not only that, increase their user base. Okay. So Snapchat sort of actually helped Instagram to actually become better. Now, I work with some nonprofit organizations that actually are using Snapchat. In fact, there's a coalition that I work with that they were getting they were creating ads on Snapchat, and they were getting some good results. And I said good results with quotes here, is because they were driving traffic to the website. They were actually just increasing the amount of views on their prevention program. That's all. That's all what they want to do. And Snapchat apparently was actually providing that. Okay, so that's another platform that you can use, right? And then we have finally TikTok. Look at TikTok. TikTok has over 689 million users, right? But you can use it for anything. Anything that you can use on Instagram, you can actually do it on TikTok. Now, what is the advantage of doing TikTok right now? Is on TikTok, if you create content, for the most part, your content organically is going to reach a lot more people. It's not that you need to invest right away on TikTok ads, but because TikTok is sort of a newer social media platform in comparison to Facebook and Instagram, right now you have a better chance of your content being seen by the audience that is interested in that particular content. So, for example, if you're doing prevention and you're working with kids, you're working with youth, my goodness, you gotta be using TikTok. If you're not using TikTok, then you sort of actually missing a huge opportunity. All right. TikTok and Instagram are the two platforms that you might want to use if you actually are trying to reach teenagers or even young adults, right? Because it's TikTok, it's allowing you right now, based on the way the algorithm works, to reach a lot more people organically. And when I say organically, it means free, without you paying a cent or creating social media paid ads. All right. Okay. So, any questions so far? Comments? Is this useful? Yeah. And if it's not, let me know. You're not gonna hurt my feelings. Because I'm here. I wanna make sure that I'm actually providing information that is useful for you, that you can actually use at your jobs. All right. Let me actually just go to this. All right. So social media marketing, what is it though? It's really this, just word of mouth powered by technology. That's what that is, right? Let me ask you this. How many of you have found out about something important that even has happened locally or in the country, or in the United States or outside of the United States via social media? Like, for example, you were browsing social media, all of a sudden, my God, I didn't know this happened. And then that makes you stop.
Definitely. It may sound random, but I was scrolling and I happened to see it was gonna be like a crab leg shortage, and then they showed like all the crabs had died off somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, well, damn. So I sat there and read that for a little minute because I like crab legs.
Yeah. It's interesting how, as you are, because hey, okay, well, let me ask you this. Be honest with me. How many hours a day would you say that you spend on social media?
Is that including YouTube?
Yeah, includes all the social media platforms.
I spend a good amount. I can tell you the time, but like
your boss is not here, so we don't have to worry about that. Don't worry.
Oh no, like it's a good amount. Like it has to be hours.
Okay, so would you say 4, 5, 6 hours?
Yeah, I say like 4.
4 hours a day. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Because sometimes what happens, we do like 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there. Sometimes, because we stop and we're doing other stuff, that we come back. Okay, about 4 hours on average. What about you, Lorita? How many hours?
Sometimes even when I'm working, I can have YouTube on all day, listening to people's playlists.
Yeah, yeah. And I do the same too. As I'm working or even doing this, preparing a presentation, I like to have some music in the background. So sometimes I just put YouTube and sort of I have my own playlist, right? And so yeah, so
if that's the case, yeah, then it's definitely well more than 4. Like I have music on now.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for being honest, Clarence. So as long as you can hear me, that's all good. That's all good.
Yeah.
So we spend a lot of time, on social media. But here's the other thing too, though. I mean, we find out about important things that happen in the world sometimes just via social media. We haven't even turned on the TV. We're not watching the news, but via social media, oh my God, this happened. Somebody, so-and-so just died, or somebody who's, important, or, whatever the situation is, social media sometimes tends to be the first medium for us to find out, if something happened locally or around the world. And so that's how powerful social media is. I used to ask, when I started doing these trainings many years ago, I used to say, okay, how many of you here are using Facebook or are using Instagram? And some people will raise their hands. Now it's a lot easier to ask how many you're not using social media, because you might only get 1 or 2 people. Everyone will say, I'm on social media in one way or another. I use 1 or 2 platforms, right? That's how actually now social media has become part of our lives. So what does that tell you? In your job, social media is another way for you to actually use it as a communication tool to promote what you're doing. You have to, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's part of actually why I say sometimes before you do anything on social media, you got to have a strategy. So, Clarence, I just watched your mental health YouTube videos and I said, oh my God, this is some of the things that you can do with all these videos. All of a sudden, strategy comes to my mind. Let's make them shorter. Let's dissect them. Let's put it on Facebook and let's put them on Instagram. That's a strategy. It sort of allows you to know where you are, where you want to be. In your case, because you're using YouTube videos, I would say where you want to be. I want to actually maximize the reach. I want to have more views, people actually watching these videos more on Facebook and Instagram, for example, and I want to have more engagement. So I want people to reach out to us or even ask questions on the videos, the short videos that they're seeing, to sort of actually see what they think about the content. In fact, when you actually have some shorter videos on Facebook and Instagram, I would also put something on top of the video and ask questions. What do you think about this particular topic when we're talking about mental health? Do you know somebody actually who's suffering right now from mental health? Or do you know somebody actually who thought about committing suicide? You know, and so right now what you do is you're positioning your content to get engagement from your audience. You're asking questions, you're inviting your audience to tell you what they think, right? So that's why having a strategy is important. So as you are creating YouTube videos or putting content on social media, or Lolita, if you are working for the county actually are putting content on their social media channels, I would ask, do you have a strategy? If you say no, okay, then let's create one. So when you are creating content and posting it, you're getting results too. So that's what a social media strategy is something that you got to do first. So keep this in mind though, okay? If you're putting content out there, you want to make sure that this is a two-way dialogue on social media. If you're putting content, you're not getting any reaction, you're wasting time because people are not seeing your content. So you spend a lot of time in creating all these videos, but you're not getting the amount of views. That means that you need to actually create a strategy behind it, making sure that you amplify your message. You want to build an online community. In this case, I love the mental health videos because you're building that community around mental health, right? And the fact that you're doing it in Spanish is even better as well because that amplifies your message even more. So you can target different type of audiences. And staff can amplify content and support prevention marketing initiative. In other words, Clarence, as you're doing all these videos, I would buy this staff to promote the videos as well, right? Via their social media channels, for example. So that's why we actually have to we have to build a strategy. So we start being very specific and what are the tactics? What are the things that we need to do? So our social media presence is creating and generating engagement. All right. So it's strategy first. So here's one of the things that I would say, for example, and a lot of people are doing this, right? I feel like I'm trying to reach anyone and everyone because I'm posting, but I'm not getting any results. Or we are attracting the wrong audience. Or I keep creating content, but no one engages. We struggle to stand out in our online presence. I don't know how to use online marketing tools to sustain my program and highlight success stories. These are some of the things that I've heard when I do this type of trainings that people actually are experiencing, all right? And 99.9% they're experiencing that because they don't have a plan. They don't have a strategy. They just started posting, hoping that somebody will pay attention to that, all right? So here's one of the things that you need to consider. When we actually create a strategy, these are the actually things that you have to put in place. So you do a social media audit. For example, Lolita, if you're working for the county, I will go into the county social media pages and I will start looking at the content. And I will start saying, okay, how much engagement are we getting? How many people are reacting to the content? If we are creating videos, how many views are we getting? It's our followers, have they increased in the last 6 months? Or we actually have, stagnated. We have stopped from growing. So these are some questions that we need to ask. If the answer to those questions are more like, no, we are not growing, engagement is very minimum, not a lot of people are watching our content, that means that we have to actually then create a content strategy. We have to actually change the way that we are presenting or communicating our message. Now, the other thing too, we create an audience profile. So in other words, let me ask this, Clarence, who is your audience? When you are creating content on social media, who are you trying to reach?
I think just mainly anybody in the community.
But when you say anybody in the community, let's be a little bit more specific. Anybody in the community what are the characteristics of that anybody?
Oh, okay. So anybody that's, let's say, under their influence, that may need help, anyone that may know someone that may need help, and more so adults. Of course, we would like to, tend it towards the children too, but it's mainly adults, the homeless, people with mental health needs, things like that.
All right. So for example, as I'm looking at your mental health videos, I think that yes, you want to bring awareness to the community, but I think part of your audience, like you said, are adults who might be struggling with that, or they might know someone who is struggling with mental health, right?
Yep.
So, okay. So if that is the case, create an audience profile would allow you to be more specific in terms of the type of content that you need to create for them. And I'm going to show you what the audience profile will looks like in a minute.
Okay.
But then you establish your program goals and objectives, you develop the content, and you start looking at your data. All right. So I'm going to show you really quick. Let's see. I'm going to. All right. All right. This is what an audience profile looks like, Clarence. And so basically what it is, this is a Word document. And a Word document is basically, I'm asking you, who is your audience? Let's say in this case, we're trying to reach 25 and older. Because this is a campaign in which city?
Milwaukee.
Milwaukee. All right. Yeah. So 25 and older adults in Milwaukee who are struggling with mental health or know someone who's struggling with mental health. All right. They are located in Milwaukee. This is where your audience is geographically located. All right. But then I want to know more about that audience. What are the passion and interests? What would you say are the things that this particular audience care about?
See, that's the thing, because the audience is so broad. Like I can say, for example, it can be a 50-year-old male in the inner city. He may like baseball, but then it could be a 22-year-old white woman in the suburbs. Her interests may be different.
Right. And so here, I like that answer, because now you sort of actually are saying we have a very diverse audience.
Yeah.
But doing audiences profile like that, it's helpful, because then you can actually then create more personalized content for that particular audience. And when you promote it, you'll be able to actually have a better strategy when it comes to reaching that specific audience. Gotcha. So if we're talking about 50 years of older male who I don't know, help me out here. Who
let's say a 55-year-old African American male, maybe work full time, still below the poverty line.
Okay.
No family. With probably some type of mental illness, like serious depression or schizophrenic or something.
Okay. I like that. You're getting very specific. All right. So bear with me here. So we're building this audience profile. Okay. What would you say their goals are? What do you say they would like to achieve in life?
Well, what they would like to achieve in life is, number one, to become clean.
Okay.
And number two, what I always heard as a case manager was housing and just proper health care.
All right.
But the main thing would be housing and becoming clean and just getting their health overall together.
All right. Okay. So start picture that specific profile there. What do you think for them, if they're using social media, they have a smartphone, they most likely are on social media. What do you think it would motivate them for them to share information online? Like they see a piece of content on their social media and all of a sudden say, oh my God, I got to share this. What do you think that piece of information need to have in order for them to share it with their peers?
I feel like something real bold, something like that catches their eye. Usually people in those circumstances, free often catches their eye, like, free resources or let's see.
And I like that you said free resources. So they might be looking for some resources based on the current situation, right?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. So if they see something that say, oh my God, this might be helpful for me, or that might be helpful for somebody that I know, I like to share it. So what are some of the issues that you think they might be experiencing? What are some of the problems or struggles and challenges that they might have?
Okay, so just overall in general?
Yeah.
Okay. Like I say, housing, mental health needs.
Okay.
Employment.
Okay.
Yep, I would say those top 3.
All right. So here's the thing, right? What struggles and challenges is this question over here? So housing, employment. So that's one of the things that you might want to list in there. Great. Now, the thing is that I would say is, okay, if these are the struggles and challenges, I want to make sure that I'm touching on those struggles and challenges on my video. I want to make sure that I'm talking about them. I'm sure that I'm guiding them in how to actually find solutions or resources in regards to that. But also, I want to make sure that I'm paying attention to the objections that they might have. Meaning that, why is it that they probably haven't taken advantage of those services already? What are the things that they say, oh my God, I don't think this is for me. I don't have transportation. I've tried this before, but I've been disappointed because the service has been very bad. I mean, do you see what I'm saying? Now we started taking it, sort of actually talking more about, these are the things that they think they have in their mind that for them are reasons why they don't take advantage of the resources that they have. All right. So we have to now touch on those things as well. So in other words, the content has to be very relevant and relatable to them. If it is too vague or too general, they might see it, but it's very general. But if we're talking to that person specifically, they see something like, oh my God, this message is for me. So the thing that I actually put in here, when it says online behaviors, I want to make sure what social media platform they're using. So they might actually be on YouTube. They might use Facebook, for example. So that makes sure that I want to make sure that if I'm creating a YouTube video, I want to make sure that I put it on Facebook so I can reach them. But on the other hand, too, I want to make sure that I answer this question. What value do they get from your program? What should they care about the content that you're creating or the resources that you're promoting, right? Making sure that you stay that. And then list 3 to 5 key messages you want your audience to know about your program or about the services. Making sure that as you are creating the content, those 3 to 5 key messages are also very embedded in the content that you are creating. And this is particular for 50 plus African-American males. That's it. That's one type of audience, right? But you're going to be reaching thousands of those as you are creating that particular video. And so as I'm watching your videos, I mean, one topic could be how mental health affects older African-American males in Milwaukee, for example. And you just talk about that. You bring somebody actually who might be able to provide more information or have a conversation about it. You see what I'm saying? But then when you actually post it on Facebook, then the headline, you have to call out your audience. You're 50 plus African-American male in Milwaukee, dealing with mental health. You want to watch this video. We tell you right now what are the things that you can do to start the journey of your path on healing, for example. I don't know. I'm just thinking a lot, Rhea. I'm just
I'm all ears.
Yeah. So there got to be a lot of work on that. But I'm just telling you, you call out your audience, and all of a sudden you create a Facebook ad. And believe me, when you are very specific, you're going to see a lot of results on that. You're going to see a lot of views on that. So that's why first thing that we do, Clarence, is that let's create an audience profile just to make sure who the audience. And like you said, it could be another one, 25 plus, young woman, white, white female. Then we can talk about Latinos. And then we sort of actually start differentiating the different type of audiences and how you create different type of messages. When you are being more strategic, you're going to get better results. So that's how I structure this. And that's what I recommend, right? All right, so let me actually go really quick here. Let's see. All right, any questions? What do you think so far, Clarence? Just you and me right now.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm here too.
Oh, yeah, you're back.
No, I've been here.
Hey man, you know what? This is for me. This is just beyond a PowerPoint presentation, man. This is TA. This is technical assistance. I want to make sure that I provide you things that you can actually implement right away.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely taking my notes.
Oh,
me
man.
too. And then I have a question for you. Sure. Is it possible for us to get a copy of the profile worksheet?
Yes, definitely.
The audience profile.
I will send this to Tasha and Happy, and then be able to send that out to you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Let's see here. All right. So we talk about creating the audience profile. One of the things is that when it comes to audience, this is sort of actually the way that we created the audience profiles, because we want to make sure that we are answering these questions, right? Who you're trying to reach, what are the problems, struggles that your audience are dealing with on a daily basis, how are you offering a solution to this problem, which key benefit do your services offer, and are you using success stories or testimonials to promote a specific service and increase credibility? Because here's the other thing too. Whether you're working for the county or whether you are promoting mental health discussions, it is nice to have a conversation with someone who has been able to, work if they actually have some mental health illness in the past, or were going through different, difficult situations in the past. How did they overcome that? So you having success stories as part of your video strategy. That's a great way for you to give hope to people, right? So so one video could be, I'm telling you, we have some expert. We're going to talk about mental health. These are some of the resources that you have available. But then another one, you can interview somebody who's gone through that, and now their journey is totally different. It's positive, and so it's full of hope. They've been able to achieve certain things. That's a success story that I would say, be strategic about it. Create videos that highlight the success stories of people who actually have been able to overcome addiction, for example, and you will be able to actually now present a different face when it comes to addiction and mental health, right? And so it's interesting because you know what? Right now, I'm working with another organization, helping them create a campaign that actually talk about a stigma in addiction. And so, and one of the things that the organization, this client says, you know what, we want to promote the positive side. When a stigma doesn't exist, we want to promote what happens, through the addiction journey to when the recovery journey. And so, and that's what we want to highlight, and that's what we highlight in this particular campaign. So we created a whole bunch of graphics, messages, and so on. So we're about to launch it in a few weeks. But that's what they want to highlight. They wanted to highlight the positive. And so obviously you talk about stigma, the negative aspect of it, but how can you overcome that? How can you actually educate other people about the stigma that exists about, in regards to addiction recovery, and how they can be part of the solution? What are the things that they can implement? Let's give them tips. Let's give them things that they actually can implement to be part of the solution. And so what happens when the stigma doesn't exist or is minimized for those who are actually in recovery? And then you highlight the positive of that. And so that's one of the things that I think sometimes when it comes to mental health or when it comes to addiction, we highlight a lot of the negative, but we sort of actually just don't highlight the positive. And we want to do that to provide hope. And so that's another way of branding, communicating your message as well. All right. So I'm going to show you an example of how you create a social media strategy. All right. Here's example number one. Let's say that you actually want to increase awareness of your coalition to parents, families, and educators via social media. That's your goal number one. This is part of your social media strategy. All right. So when we're talking about strategies, we divide this into goal, objectives, the strategy, and platforms. The objective, that's when we get a little bit more specific in terms of by when we want to reach that specific goal. So in this case, I put in here by April 30th of 2023, our Facebook page will generate an average of 10 comments per post and 3 shares per week by creating and posting relevant content for our audience. You see now I'm getting more specific. That means, Clarence, that if you're posting videos on Facebook, you want to start thinking about how do I make sure that I'm generating comments. You position your content in a way that you're asking your audience questions so they can comment on the video, right? And want to make sure that your audience is also sharing the video. It's not only you now, but you're building a community of people that love your content and they're sharing it with others as well. When you are being very specific, then you got to think about how you position your content. So what's the strategy? Well, the strategy is we're going to be creating about our content about our coalition. We're going to have a list of frequently asked questions about mental health that African-American male of 50 plus might have. And then we're going to answer that on a video. All right. And we're going to promote that on Facebook and Instagram. And we're going to create some social media paid ads as well. There's going to be a minimum of 4 posts per week with call to actions and combination of text, graphics, and video. I'm going to use Facebook and Instagram, organic and paid ads as well. Here's the interesting thing about it though, Clarence. You are creating videos. And here's, what I would do? I will grab images, still images of those videos, and I will just create a quote right next to them. All of a sudden now, you got the same piece of content, not only on video, but on graphic. And you can post that on Instagram because Instagram is a great platform for graphics and video. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Out of just one piece of content, man, you are just creating different ways to present your information. You are creating a lot of content out of just one video. That's the strategy that I like to see more in prevention. And that's why I'm passionate about this, because we're missing a huge opportunity. Because people tend to say, oh my God, now I got to create another video. Now I got to create another one. No, you already have one that is 10, 15 minutes long. From there, we're going to create multiple videos. And that's how you amplify your content, right? And so you maximize that video as much as you can. All right, so here's another goal that could be part of the strategy. You want to increase your followers on your coalition from 200 to about 1,000 in the next 6 months. All right. So that means that it's 800 followers that I gotta be able to gain. So here's the strategy. I'm gonna reach out to partners that work with our audiences to help promote our Facebook page content. I'm gonna conduct interviews, which we already do in Clarence, with other partners to create content and have them also promoting to gain exposure. As you are interviewing people, you want to give people access to those videos so they can promote them on the social media channels as well. And I want to create content based on an audience analysis profile. Remember that we have an audience profile. We created that, and the content is actually being generated based on that profile of your audience. But also, I will do a Facebook ad like campaign. What that means is now I can promote my Facebook page, and it's going to show in a form of an ad to people on Facebook. If they're interested, because they actually, before they like your page or before they follow you, they're going to go and look at your Facebook page. If the content is good, they're going to follow you. If the content is not interesting for them, no, they saw it, they will not follow you. So that's why I highly emphasize that we put a lot of thought in the content. You're already putting some time in putting some stuff on social media. Let's make sure that we are more intentional and thoughtful in regards in how to do that. Okay? And then I would use Facebook and Facebook ads. That's what we'll do to promote it. Right? This is in regards to a Facebook page. That's another strategy. That's goal number 2. All right? Goal number 3. Let's suppose you have a website. Clarence, if you actually are creating mental health, one thing that I would suggest, I don't know if you have a website where you have a list of those videos too, or you only have it on YouTube.
No, we actually have a website being created at the moment.
And the website is going to be about?
Our Better Ways to Cope campaign, as well as having other resources there as well too.
Great. So you can actually use social media as a way for you to drive traffic to your resources page, for example, in your new website, right? But not only that, though, I just don't want to drive traffic. I want to know how many people actually are going to the website via social media. That's how you measure if it's working or not. So in this case, I'd say, by June 30th, for example, we generate an additional 1,000 visitors to our resource page. And then you're going to promote it on social media, Facebook, and Instagram, TikTok, and your website as well. So this is just another goal that you might want to have. So that's how we start creating a social media strategy plan, by having very specific goals. Because otherwise, if we don't have this, we're just creating content for the sake of creating content. So let me ask you, do you know, Clarence, have you ever done a social media strategy plan? Or Lolita, does the county has one, for example?
No, not that I know of.
Okay.
I don't know if
Okay, right. So as you can see, this is actually something that when you have a plan, you know where you're going, right? And you can measure, you can adjust, you can change things. All right. Let's talk now into the content piece. I'm going to show you a few things here in the content really quick. So content creation, we're talking about posts, videos, messages, right? So if I'm creating content, what is it that I want to do? Am I increasing website traffic? Am I increasing awareness? Am I recruiting people to a particular program? Am I building my online brand? Do I want to increase followers on Facebook and Instagram? Do I want to create engagement? Do I want to do some fundraising if I'm in a nonprofit organization? What's the goal? So we got to make sure that we know. And that's why I listed those goals for you. You saw goal number 1, goal number 2, and goal number 3. And then we actually then are more specific in terms by when we want to reach that goal with the objective and what's the strategies that we can implement. So there are 3 phases. There are 3 stages for your audience buyer's journey. Now, actually, there are 7 stages, but I'm going to talk about this first 3. Have you heard the term audience buyer's journey before?
No.
This term is actually used a lot in marketing when we're talking about selling stuff. And a lot of companies use this term, and they create what is called an audience buyer's journey. And basically, the three steps that you're seeing right now: awareness, consideration, and engagement and decision. This is how you actually are walking. You're holding your audience hand, and you're walking with them through these different stages, so they start actually paying attention to your audience, right? So I'm going to give you some examples. Awareness. This is where the person becomes aware of who you are. In this case, Clarence, you have a YouTube channel of mental health. You want to promote that because you want a lot more people to know that this channel exists and the conversation that you're having. Bring in awareness. There's a lot of people that actually still don't know that you are doing this. So stage number 1, awareness, right? Okay, so here's an example in how 3 possible scenarios and how you can actually generate awareness. And some of them actually have nothing to do with prevention. And then I will show you an example that has to do with prevention. But these are more things that you might actually experience when you are looking at social media, for example. For example, a father of 2 sees an advertisement for a new children's summer camp on Facebook. He wasn't aware of that particular summer camp. All of a sudden, they see an ad on Facebook. I'm interested in this. I'm finding that out that this summer camp exists. An office manager searches Google to find a new coffee supplier. The difference is this office manager goes straight to Google to find something that they're looking for. It's not that they saw it on Facebook. They actually know what they're looking for. They have an intent. They went to Google, right? They're searching for it. A college student watches an Instagram video of her friend raving about a new brand of noise-canceling headphones. All of a sudden, this is another way of bringing awareness. You watch the video, you say, oh my God, I like to have those headphones. I want to try them out, right? All right, so let me show you what that might look like. Here's a screenshot of a post from Facebook from this company. It's called Canary. And basically they say, intruders don't stand a chance when you know what's happening at home. So basically, they are promoting this cameras, security cameras right here. 50 of 2 packs for a limited time only, right? So if I'm on Facebook and I see this ad and I see this particular brand in this particular actually cameras, and I'm looking for it, I'm going to be interested. So remember that the way the targeting works, you target people based on their interests. You target people based on demographics, age range, and so on. So Facebook put it in front of me because Facebook thinks that I might be interested in this product. I become aware of this product because I see it on Facebook, all right? So that's one example. The other example is this one, for example, and this is an ad from Hazelden. So if Hazelden is promoting their treatment program, and here's an ad, all of a sudden I become aware of this particular treatment program from Hazelden. Here's another example, and this is from a coalition. This is a coalition that I work with in Michigan. And basically, they're promoting here a podcast episode about safe medication and disposal awareness. That's where they do it. They invested, they pay a little bit of money, but look how many people they reach. Over 4,000 people. Look at the number of engagement they had, 184. They actually paid and they did not pay a lot of money. I think, if I'm not mistaken, they probably spent between 40 and 60 bucks. Because for them, it was important for the community to actually, for Clinton County, to know about this particular episode. They have a podcast, so they talk about different subjects, but this one is something that they wanted to highlight. So Clarence, going back to your point, as you're creating mental health videos, if there's something very specific for Milwaukee, very specific for a particular audience, this is an example in how you can actually create an ad, promote it very specifically in that region in order for you to maximize your reach. Yeah. So that's what they did here.
Yeah, like you say, it don't be, but when I'm on Facebook, it's not expensive at all. It'd be like $14 or something like that, yeah, to like for the little boost and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. And you know, Clarence, video tend to be a lot cheaper when you convert it into video ads. And so you tend to spend a lot less. And so right now, for example, that's why it's like, okay, if you know, we'll talk a little bit about budget in a minute, and I'll give you some sort of a guidance in terms of how much money you might want to think about probably putting aside on a yearly basis, or at least on a monthly basis, how much money you might want to start thinking about putting aside for you to start playing with social media paid ads. And it doesn't have to be a lot. All right. Okay, so let me give you now the stage number 2. This one is consideration and engagement. This is when you start talking to your audience. This is when your audience start responding to your content, right? They react to your content. And so, and it's not something that you do once and move on. You gotta keep that engagement level going, right? All right, so let me actually just give an example. So here's an example. A grandfather of 5 receives an email. I'm not talking about social media now, it's just an email newsletter from his financial advisor detailing several ways to save for a child's college tuition while reducing taxes. All right? The purpose of that email is to get a reaction, a response from the grandfather. I'm providing this information because I think it might be useful for you, right? For your grandchildren. So the response that I'm looking is for that grandfather to reply back to the email saying, I'm interested. Can you tell me more? Can we have a phone call? That's what the email is for. You are inviting people to engage with you, all right? Let me give you another one. A new mother watches a YouTube video from Johnson & Johnson showing her how to give her baby a bath, all right? And here's the video. I'm not making that up, all right? Here's the video, YouTube. And this video has been there for a while, but you know, when I put it here, look, it has over 1 million views, all right? So what's the purpose of the video? I'm educating my audience. I'm showing them how to do something, but I'm also, hopefully, I'm actually want them to buy my product. I want them to engage with me, either by subscribing to my channel, by actually liking the video, or by commenting or sharing the video. That's what I'm going after, right? Here's another one. How to talk to my teen about vaping. You put that on YouTube, and this is what comes up, right? What teenagers really think about vaping. So that's another way to engage your audience, right? You are providing helpful information. That's why, Clarence, man, when I watch those mental health videos, I'm looking at them, oh my God, you have a lot of good information in there. My goodness, we gotta amplify, we gotta maximize the reach because you have some great content, some great videos. You got people from the community there. So we gotta make sure that a lot more people know about it. So, so that's like, you know, creating an engagement strategy. It's really not that hard because the content already is good. All right. Okay. So finally, stage number 3 is the decision. At this point, your audience knows who you are and has engaged with you in some way or another. Right. So this is now when, you know, people are ready to actually make a decision about the services that you provided. Should I call them? Should I, reach out to them and ask more questions about that particular service? This is where the audience have gone from awareness, consideration, and now decision. All right? You walk them through They already trust you now because they have seen the type of information that you are creating for them. So let me actually give you another example here of the decision stage. A young professional signs up for a webinar presented by a local realtor about the best practices of purchasing a first home. The young professional is sent the time and web address for the webinar. And that's how for that person made the decision to attend the webinar. Like you made a decision to come and attend this webinar, right? You were sent out an announcement in terms of what this webinar was going to be about, and you actually then are here. All right. Another example, a college girl fills out a form on a blog to receive a free sample of a new face cream. The college girl is sent a thank you email telling her the face cream is in the mail. She already filled out a form. That's the action that she took, right? And here's another one. A teen visits a website where they provide information about how to quit vaping. Then that teen takes a number to learn how the program works. And this, I'm not making that up. This is what the program is called. My Life, My Quit. That's a website specifically for teens. Who, look at the picture, it's a teenager, there's a text. That's how actually now kids, they react a lot better, they communicate a lot better via text. And so that's what they're doing, right? So Clarence, if you are redesigning or you are designing a website, here's one thing that I would suggest that you put as part of your strategy on your website is that you actually start, there's a way for people to actually put their email addresses so they'll learn more about mental health. So you start building that email list from your community. That should be part of your communication strategy as well, as you're building that out. I don't know if you'll have it, but I hope you do.
Yeah, I got a pretty decent one. It's I think it's about 1,000 emails on there.
Yep. And so you have about 1,000 emails. What's the open rate of your emails, Clarence? How many people actually open? And
I just seen that. It was a pretty high number. I'm not gonna guess.
Okay, no, that's fine. That's fine. One of the things that I want to make sure is that if you have 1,000 in your email list, it's great that you keep building that up, but it's also great that the engagement level, the amount of people that actually open your email, read it, if you have links in there, click on them, the rate is actually up as well. All right. Okay. So that's why your engagement, your emails, they have to be good in order for them to be interested in the content that you are generating. Because otherwise people get tired of it. And then they sort of actually now, they don't react to the emails anymore. So, all right. So I'm going to finalize.
I think Lolita had a question.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead, Lolita. Sorry.
Two things. So if Clarence was to do like the videos, like the short video clips, would you say like with the email list, embedding some of those clips into the email to increase the traffic to the site?
I like that idea.
Yeah. And I think, yes. And so what happened is basically, if you have at least of 1,000 people, you can sort of actually have a screenshot of the video inside the email. So when they click on it, they go straight to the page where the video is. So that's a great idea. That's how you drive traffic to the website via email. Yes.
Okay. And
Thank
then
you.
for this like ad, when you were taking the image and putting a quote with it, is this what you're talking about, or is this
for which one? I'm sorry.
I don't know. Earlier in the presentation, you said taking a still image and posting it with a quote on like Instagram or something.
Right.
Is this what you mean? Okay, like that.
Yeah. So for example, I'm showing you this one. For example, this one is because she records all the podcasts on video as well. So basically what we did, we grabbed the video and we actually did a screenshot of the video. We describe it at the top, as you can see, for this particular episode, what this episode was about. And then, and then we actually have a call to action where it says learn more. Because what we want is for people to go and listen to the podcast so they can actually, they can know more about safe medication and disposal awareness.
Okay.
You can do the same with video. So for the mental health wellness video that Clarence is working on and he's doing, you can have a screenshot just like this at the top, introduce what the video is about and why people should watch it. Not just say we're talking about this, but you might want to watch it because X, Y, and Z. And then you say, please share it. If you find this information valuable, please share it with others who might actually benefit from this information as well. That's a call to action. And then we create, it's converted into a video ad, something like this. And then that's how you actually drive traffic to the videos. You can drive traffic to a website. If when people click on link more, they go to a website and so on. But this is an example of what I was referring to. Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure. All right. I'm going to give you, have you heard of this? Parents Against Vaping. This is a national grassroots organization that is actually founded in 2018 by 3 New York moms. And as a response to the youth vaping epidemic, all right? And so I'm going to actually play, so they created, this is an ad from their Facebook page, and I wanted to sort of actually, I took a screenshot of it. They had 68 shares, 22 comments, 146 reactions. And then, you know, when you click learn more, you go to the website. So I'm going to just play with you the video that they have right here. Notice how this is a short video. Okay, this is a 50-second video. There's no faces. These are just words, different images. Notice how that's how they actually created this video with different ways of commenting to the video, different motions and so on. But then what's the purpose? They are promoting the website. That's what they're doing. They're promoting a resource. Something like this can be created with a tool called Canva. Have you heard of that tool before? Yeah? All right. That's it. They have a lot of templates. You create something like that, you put that as a video ad, oh my goodness. And you are actually you're gonna reach a lot of people and you're gonna drive traffic to your website.
I'm actually waiting to get approved for my Canva. I requested it some months ago. I'm supposed to be getting it pretty soon, like the Canva Pro, because I was able to use like a little test run on it, and it made it look super professional like this.
Yep. So are you waiting to get approval from Canva for Canva Pro?
No, from my department to pay
Oh,
for.
From your department. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Canva Pro, I think, isn't Canva Pro free for nonprofit organizations?
Ooh, that's a good question. I didn't know that.
I believe it is. If it's not, it's heavily discounted. So if you're a nonprofit, take advantage of Canva Pro. Either it's free or heavily discounted. And so I apologize that I don't have sort of the right answer to that.
Oh no, that's fine.
But regardless, you're not going to pay a lot of money if you're a nonprofit. So when you go to Canva Pro, go to canva.com, and then from there you're going to have the Pro option. You have to show that you're a nonprofit. So they're going to ask you for some documents. But once you get approved, you'll be able to use the Pro version, either for free or a discounted price. So make sure that you take advantage of that. Okay?
Definitely.
Here's another thing that I'm going to tell you. Google Ad Grants. Have you heard of those before? All right. If you are a nonprofit organization, you can apply for Google Ad Grants. If you get approved by Google, you get up to $10,000 a month in free Google Ad credits. Okay? It's not that they're going to give you a check for $10,000, but you get free Google Ad credits. Meaning, you say, okay, how does that benefit me? If you are a nonprofit organization and you provide certain services within the city of Milwaukee, for example, you can create some Google grants. For example, I don't know, mental health could be one of the services. Somebody actually type in mental health services for African American male in Milwaukee, and you have created a Google ad, then you can show at the top of the results. And so Google Ad grants are great for exposure, and it's free. If you get it, if you're approved, you get up to $10,000 a month in Google Ad credits. And a lot of nonprofits, I'm surprised still a lot of nonprofits don't know about it. But the way that you actually go is just go to google.com/nonprofits. Okay? Nonprofits. And that's how you actually, or you can actually just search in Google Ad grants, and you will see the link straight to that, and they will tell you what the process is. I help another organization in LA, in Los Angeles, and I walked them through the process. They apply and they got it. And it's a very small nonprofit organization, so you don't have to be huge. You gotta prove to them that you are a nonprofit organization, all right? And there are other things that you gotta do as well. All right. So I wanted to finalize this. How much money should you invest in social media? I have an organization that I'm working with. They invest about $500 a month. So it's equivalent to about $6,000 a year, right? If your budget doesn't have that much money, you can start with $100 a month, if you can, all right? Or if you only have $500, you can start just testing your ads with $2 to $3 to $5 a day. It doesn't require a lot of money. I work with another organization in Los Angeles again. You know how much money they were spending on ads? $4,000 a month on ads. They were promoting mental health services for Latino and African American men in Los Angeles. And they were using Facebook and Instagram. So we actually ran a campaign for them, and they were spending $4,000 a month, and they got some great results. So if you got money, great. If you don't have a lot of money, if you can put aside, I always say, if you can spend $500 a month, that's great. That doesn't mean that you have to spend all $500, but you have some room that you can start playing with. But if not, if you can put aside $1,000 a year to start with, so you can start getting your feet wet as you're starting running some campaigns, that's a good start. All right. So any questions, comments, concerns? All right. That's my last slide. So that's why I ask any questions. All right.
Yeah, I'm applying for that grant, the application now.
Yeah.
I am never disappointed by these trainings. I just want you guys to know that.
Yes.
Good. I'm glad to hear. Hey, I want to tell you both, I appreciate you actually being here. I appreciate the engagement. I'm glad that you asked questions. I was very happy not only to present, but to provide the Rec TA. And I think that's the best way for us to serve you. And we're honored that you're here. You took time of your busy schedule. And so we're glad that you found this valuable. So thank you.
And I definitely appreciate you, and definitely all the tips. I mean, I damn near feel like I got a one-on-one, so definitely I can play it.
Sure. Tasha, I don't know if there's anything else you like to say.
No, we're going to drop the post evaluation in the chat. Let me make sure. Happy's going to do that. It comes also at the very end, but I agree with you, Lolita, Clarence, and I think Anisha is here. I always say this, that I'm not supposed to be a participating worker. I'm here to do production and work alongside, but really great tips, Carlos. As always, I learned a lot myself. I know I was off screen, but I was here and I learned a lot. So I'm actually going to go back. We record this, so I'm going to go back so I could take real notes and grab some information. So I really appreciate you, Carlos. This was great. Thank you guys for your participation. And you're right, this was more of a technical assistance opportunity, which is my favorite way to work with people. So thank you.